In order to subscribe for my channel, please click here or click here. Please like, share, and comments on my videos and channel. Thank you. Hey guys, this is Gaurav. Welcome to SaaS with ServiceNow. This is our follow-up session of ServiceNow Service Catalog Training. This is about myself. Now, this session is the continuation of our previous session where we mentioned about the different types of variables in Service Catalog. Now, in this session, I'm going to create all those variables, different types of variables directly in ServiceNow in my personal developer instance so that you can understand that why exactly and how exactly you create those variables. And you will also understand that if your customer or your client comes to you for any requirement, in that case, you will be able to visualize that which variable I need to create in order to fulfill the requirement of your customers. So we will talk about each and every variable, different types of variable we talked about in our previous session. We are just going to create them practically in my personal developer instance. So let's start with creating our first variable. That would be break. Creating your variable, you have to create a catalog item first. In that case, I will go to maintain items. I will create a new item, give the name to the item, that is demo for variables, and I will just give the random catalog. Let's select service catalog and just category. So it doesn't matter, at least for now, because I'm just showing you the demo. So I'm not filling much information, maybe just demo for variables. I am saving this. Once it is saved, you can see the variables in the related list and other related list as well. So starting with the creation of first variable. So we will just click on new here. So this is the variable form. So as you can see, we have some fields and some sections here, which has also more fields. So starting with like type. Now this is the type of field, type of variable which you want to select, that you can select from here. So you have a long list, which we already discussed in our previous session. Then it is automatically selecting the catalog item. Then you have the application scope, whether you want this variable as mandatory on the form, that you can check this. It's just like the dictionary details. Then if you want to make this active, and if you want to place the order. Now order is really important because when you will create the variables for your form, you have to put those variables user input as per the order, like sequence. In order to do that, you have to put the order. We will see how exactly you can put those things. Starting with the other sections we have, like question, annotations, type specifications, default value, permission, and availability. Now this question section is really important. The type of variable you select, now you have to ask that question. And what is this question? The question is something which is displayed to the end user. That's the reason it is showing you question. It can be a question as well sometimes, or it can be a statement as well, or just like a label. It totally depends. But here it's a question. That means you are asking something from your end user as kind of a user input. So in that case, we will first start with break. If you will see, when I selected the type as break, it doesn't show me all those fields which we had in other variable type, because break doesn't need that. So break is just a kind of a line, as I talked earlier. It's just a line when you create it. So I can give an order, for example, let's give it 10. And if I just click on submit, so if I will click on submit, that will be created. Now at the same time, what we will do, we will open our catalog item form. That means the main form which will be displayed to the end user, and we will click on try it. And why we are doing this? So that every time when you add a new variable or you change something on your catalog item, you can see right here. Now, this is the name of the catalog item which we created under services. So you already remember, and this is the service catalog. That's what we have. So we had technical catalog, and then we had service catalog. So we have added under service catalog. Now, this is the name of the catalog item. Now, name of the catalog item will always be displayed. It's like a short description. So you can see that if I go here, ST, and I just save this. I go here and reload it. So you can see ST has been added. But the important thing is that a new variable which we added, is it being displayed here? So answer is yes. So you can see we have a long line on your form with all these buttons we have. So this is the example of break variable. So if you want to put a line between two variables or just to segregate the sections, in that case, you can utilize break variable. Let's go to another variable we have. So we will go to our form and catalog item form, and then we will click on new. I will select type as checkbox. So this is our second variable. So we will select checkbox here. Now you can see when I'm selecting the checkbox as a type, then it is still showing me all these fields. The reason behind it, because I need to fill this. So this type of variable definitely require or can be configured with these information. So starting with the question we have checkbox. Now checkbox is something you are asking from your user, like do you want this, do you want this, or like a checkbox. Have you attached the document? Just a question. Have you attached document? If he will check it, then means he has attached it. I will press tab. It will automatically select the name here. Then we have this type specification. Type specification is just like if you want more configuration, for example, variable width. If I think this will be mostly used for like if field is like a string field where you have to put the user input. That's what it is being used. Then we have pricing details. Then we have default value. It cannot be used every time, but it might be used in your choice or all those different types of variables you have. Then we have permission, and then we have availability, then where exactly this variable should be visible. Should it be visible everywhere, like on bundles, on guides, on summaries? That is what you can just put here, like just like availability, where exactly you want this particular variable. Now in this case I will just put the order as 20, because as I mentioned, this order will decide the sequencing of your form. So in that case I am done. This is the tooltip, which I'm not putting right now. It's up to you. So we can put, for example, demo tool tip. And I'm just clicking on save. Once this is saved, you can go to your catalog form, like the end user view. I can reload it. Once you will reload it, you can see we have added that in user input. Basically, that's a variable which we created. Have you attached document? And I can check this. So this is how you add checkbox variable. Then we will go to our catalog item again to create our third variable. So if I go at the bottom here, I will click on new. Now we will talk about container variable. So if you remember, container variable are also really important variables in service catalog. So you can see we have container end, split, and start. Now why exactly we use them? So let me do one thing. Let me not use them right now. We will use them in between, so that once you will create all different variables, in that case you will be able to understand that why exactly we have to use containers in one of your requirement. So let's park this. So apart from like container, we can go to next one, that is date. If I select date, even for date we have date and time and date. So I will select just date for now. So we have selected date. I will put the question, please select the date. That's what you all like normally ask user. So in this time, and I will put 30. We will see. Now this is the annotation. Now annotation is being used because now we have selected the date field. Now, it might happen that you want to show some help. What date a user can put? That's some any information. If you want to give extra information, that's what you want. For example, show help. So if you will do this, then only user will be able to see this information. And what exactly the help tag is, more information. You can also change it if you want. Here you can put the help text. So we will just put demo help text. Type specification is the variable width. We are not doing it right now. Default value can also be a date, so it will automatically populate the date, but we don't want to put right now. This is the similar permission availability, and I have already given this 30, so I will save this. So I have saved this. I will go to my form. I will reload it. You will see the date variable has also been added. And one of the important thing is this, the tip, the help which we had. So if you will expand it, you can see we have this demo help text. And if you remember, if I am putting my cursor on the first variable, that's already showing you demo tooltip. So if you remember on this checkbox, we mentioned that tooltip. That's what it is showing right here. So if I go to my form again, and let's go to the item, creating next variable, that is date and time. So I can select the type as date time. Here I can put the question, select the date and time. I can put the order as 40, and I'm not like doing any changes in here, and I'm just saving this. Once I am saving this, I can go to my form. I can reload it. Now you can see we have please select the date here. You can select the date. You are only getting the option to select the date, not time. But if you will select here, the user has that opportunity to select date as well, and he can also select the time. Then we will create another variable. The next variable we have is duration. So I can select the type as duration. I can put it as 50 as order. In question, I can put please mention the duration. Press tab. Name is already taken. So basically the thing which is displayed for the end user, it will be this question. This is just the name so that you can utilize it for scripting as well. Like you do have like on field dictionary, you have the label and then you have the backend name, like the column name basically. It's a similar like that. So in that case, I'm not putting these values. I am just saving this. Once it is saved, I can go to my form. I can reload it. So now you can see I have duration as well, where I can put the days, I can put the hours, I can put the minutes, and I can also put the seconds. That is what you have right here. So let's go to our catalog item again. Our next variable is email. So we will select type as email here. And I will come here and I will please enter your email. I press tab. Here I can put 60 and I can save this. So if you remember, this email type of variable will allow users to put the email. So if I go my form, I reload it. Here you can see we have please enter your email address. Now, how would you know that this is also an email like type of variable? You can see this button right here. Basically, if you will click this button, then you can utilize your email client on your computer, and you can send that email as well to this the same email address which is mentioned here. As of now, it's blank, so you cannot send it. But yeah, it will definitely open the email client for you, a new email for you if you want to send email to this person. Then I will go back to my catalog item form. The next variable we have is HTML. If you want users to provide input in HTML, in that case, I will create a new variable. I will select HTML, please provide the KB content. Just an example. And I'm putting it as 70. And I'm just saving this. When I'm saving this, I can go to my form, reload it. This field will be added. You can see it says please provide the KB content. Now the type of field is HTML, where you can type the HTML as well. You can use the source code. You can see this is the HTML source code, so you can mention. So this is the HTML field, and you can also resize this. That's a really good functionality, at least for end users, so you can display this field as well. I think this kind of field will be utilized when you want, for example, for KB articles, because in KB articles, you already have that HTML field. So if you want users to put the HTML field and you want to put that data, like copy that data in your system, in one of your table, where that field is already in HTML data type, in that case, you can utilize this variable for your end users. The next variable we have is IP address. So if I click here, I will select the type as IP address, and I will mention please provide IP address and press tab. I will put here as 80 and just save this, and I will reload the form. When I will reload it, you will see we have this IP address right here. Now, you must be seeing that we have added the variables. Now, what about if user is putting some information which is not relevant as per the type of field which you have selected? For example, like email address. In email address, I'm just typing, for example, like this. And I'm putting IP address like, for example, in string. Let's see, do you get any error message, or is it allowing you to like put these details in these fields? So for that, what we will do, we will just go at the top, and I will try to click order now. If I will click order now, you will see it is already giving you the error invalid text, please enter your email address. But if you are putting the invalid text for your email address, then you will not be able to do that. You have to mention the valid email address, because it has some validations around it. Then we can go to our next variable, that is label. So I will go here, I will create a new variable, and I will select label here, and I will put the question as this is the networking section, and I will put as, for example, 55 maybe, or 65, and I will save this. If I go to my form here and I reload it, you can see it is showing above our HTML variable, and it's showing here this is the networking section with a line as well. So this can be a difference. If you want just a line to segregate the two variables, in that case you can just use break. But if you really want to put a heading as well for that section, or for those variables maybe, in that case you can use labels. Label is also a really good variable, type of variable which you can utilize for creating your catalog item forms for your end users. The next variable we have is list collector. So we will go here, we will create a new variable, select the type as list collector, and I will please select the users. Press tab. Here I will put 80. Now here says type specifications. The reason behind it, this is a list collector. That means you have a table where it can fetch the records and you can select those records. So in that case, you have to select the table. Here I can select, for example, sys user table. So I have selected the user table. I am saving this and I'm going to my form, reloading it. So if I go at the bottom, now you can see this is the list collector variable. I can select different users right here and then submit the form. So it will capture these values which we have selected. The important thing in list collector is that you must have seen that this is the another thing which have been added that you didn't ask, but this is the filter basically. So every time you select the filter, list collector variable, it will automatically add this filter. But you can also remove this. That means you can also hide this filter from your end users. In that case, in ServiceNow, we do have a different functionalities. Those are called attributes. So we will show you in our later sections about service catalog attributes as well. The next variable we have is lookup multiple choice. So if I go to my catalog item, I will go here, create a new variable, select the type as lookup multiple choice. Now, if I select lookup multiple choice and here I put like 90, for example, question I will put, please select, yeah, let's please select group. In type specifications, I have to select the table. Now this is the lookup. Lookup is something that means you have to look up from a table. You have to look all the records from the table and you want to show them as part of multiple choice. In that case, I will select any table I want. So let me select sys user group. So I have selected group. Now here it's saying lookup value field. That means which field it should show you so that it will pick up all those records. So let's select the name. So if I select the name and then I click on save. So once this is saved, I will go to my form, reload it. So if you will see at the bottom, we have all these choices. I can select anyone I want. And what exactly it is showing you. So you selected the which field you want to display, that will be name. If you will select any other field, it will automatically fetch all the data of that particular field. For example, manager. So if you have 100 groups and those 100 groups have, for example, 20 managers, so it would only show all those 20 managers of those groups. That is how you can utilize. And I would say this is a really great functionality in ServiceNow. So this is how you can create all these variables in ServiceNow. Let's talk about containers because we have created a lot of variables. So now if you will utilize the containers variable, you will be able to understand why exactly we need them. Now you can see that we have all these variables in sequence, like one by one as per the order we mentioned. Now, what about if you want to move this select date and time here and you want to make them in same row? How exactly you can do that? Because that can be a requirement. Because if your user or your requirement or your client will give you, for example, 30 or 40 fields, if you will create all the fields in sequencing, then people have to scroll down a lot. In order to save that, you can show the fields in left and right hand side. You can split the form, but I will show you a quick snapshot as part of our just two fields. So if I want to play with these two fields, so let's try that. So if I go here and I go to my catalog item, I will check the order of my fields. Like you can see, I have checkbox and I have this date. This is 20, this is 30. So in that case, what I will do, I will create a new variable. Type of variable would be container, and that will be start. So we will start it. We will just select 15 here. It says, do you want to display the title? So I will put the question. Now you can see question is now no more mandatory because it is just a start of the container. Container is just a bucket where you want to put those variables or the inputs. So in that case, I will just give a name. For example, C start, just a random name. So it start with the 15 order. I am saving this. Once I'm done with start, now I have started the container. Now I also need to end the container. So in that case, I will create another variable. And what I will do, I will go to my catalog item, go at the bottom, click on new, select the type as container end, give the order as 35 and submit it. So we have created start and end. Now, if I will go to my form, reload it, you will see, and basically you're not seeing any kind of difference. You still see this checkbox and this date. So there is a way. If I go to my container start again, if I select this display title and I will put like test, I save this. Now I go to my form, reload it. This time you will see a difference. And the difference you are seeing, this has made in a section. So this and this field, you can see they are now as part of the container. So if I can expand it, I can collapse it. So they will not be visible. This is how you can utilize containers. But you can see the ordering is still the same, like the sequencing. So in order to make this field right here, I will go here. Now you will utilize the third container type of variable, that is container split. So I will go to my catalog item variables again at the bottom, click here, select the type as container split. And this time I will give the order because order is really important because where exactly you want to do that split. So we had 15, 20, and then let's put 25. And if I submit it and I go to my form, reload it, now you can see my date is right here. So if I collapse this, it's no more there. If I expand this, you can see this. So it has moved into right. Now, this is how you can utilize the containers type of variable in order to fulfill your requirement, in order to, I think, change the layout of your form, which will be like really user friendly for your end users. The next variable we have is lookup select box. Lookup select box, it's quite similar to lookup multiple choice, but in multiple choice you will always get radio buttons. In lookup select box, you will be able to select the same information but in the form of choices. So that's a difference. So I'm not going to create that variable for you right now because you'll be able to visualize it, that how exactly idea is quite similar, but you have to create those variables as per your requirement. If user has lot of records, in that case I think choice is the best. That means the lookup select box will be the best. But if you want to have, like for example, 5 records or 10 records, and you can still put those radio buttons, in that case you can select the radio buttons. That means lookup multiple choice rather than lookup select box. We do have some other variables as well. So if you remember, we talked about macro, but I'm not going to talk about macro for now, macro or UI page, because they need little bit scripting. So I don't want to confuse you guys, because as of now we're not talking about anything is scripting in service catalog, because I want to keep that section separate so that you understand. Because even if you are not if you have not worked as a ServiceNow developer maybe, or you're just an admin and you don't know that much of about scripting, in that case you can still create service catalog for your customers even you are working as a ServiceNow administrator. So we have other variables like macro with label. The another one we have is masked. If you remember, I told you it's just a use for password, so it's not that much different. So I don't want to show you right now, so you can visualize and you can try yourself as well. So another variable we have, like, let's go to our catalog item, that is multiple line text or single line text. So if you want to put some text, in that case those are utilized. For example, I think already selects you, like shows you the single line text. So in that case you can select the single line text, it's already there. I can put the name, so question first, like please provide your name. Press tab and I will put it at the top. Let's put it at the top. That's it. And I will just click on submit. If I'm submitting it and I'm reloading it, you can see I have this variable right here. Please provide your name. The order was at the top because of one. That's the reason it is showing you on the top. Similarly, we have multi-line text. So if you want users to provide more information, like a description, in that case, you can select the type of variable as multi-line text. Then we also have multiple choice. Now, as you have lookup multiple choice, you can go for multiple choice as well. Multiple choice, that means you can show the radio buttons, but they will not pick up the data from the table. That is something you have to provide the data. That is how multiple choice works. Then we have numerical scale, just to show you the different scales. So if I go to my catalog item, go to configure item, go here, click new, select here multiple choice, and I will select, like, for example, 2, so that it shows you at the top. Please select type. I will save this. Now this is saved. Now the important thing which you will see here, it also showing you the related list that is called question choices. Now what kind of choices you want to show your end users? In that case, you can put the text here. I will insert, for example, access, add. I will put the value, access underscore add. And I will go here. I will do access remove, access remove, and I will save this as well and save the whole variable. And I will go to my form, reload it. Now you can see I have this, please select type, access add or access remove. This is just like radio buttons. So whenever you will see multiple choice, that will be like a radio button. If you hear about like select box, that is something like a choice you always select. So this is about our multiple choice. Then we can go for numerical scale. Now, if you want to show some numerical scale for your end users, in that case, you can select numerical scale. So I will select numerical scale. Once I will select it, I will just do select type numerical, just a example, type numerical. And I will just do insert and stay. And I'm doing insert and stay. So variable is created. If you'll go to type specification for this variable type, you can see we have scale minimum and scale maximum. So if I will show you on my form, reload it here, you can see we have the scale. As of now, it's have these numbers till 5. You can also change it to 8. Just an example to show you. So I have saved it. I will go to my form, reload it. You can see now I have 8. So this is how you can change. You can also change the minimum scale as well. It's totally up to you. It's totally configurable. So you don't need to do any kind of scripting for this. The next variable we have is reference. That is also really important variable, because reference variable is also on your native ServiceNow forms apart from service catalog, but you might need here as well if you want some information, if you want users to select some data. So in that case, I will go to my variable, create a new variable right here, select the type as reference, put the question, please select the manager. I will put 3 here. Here type is specification, you can see it's mandatory. Now reference is something which table you want to pull the record so that user can select. I will put sys user. So that will be this one. This is just a reference qualifier, whether you want to like filter the users. So in that case, you can also do that. Like I should only see the active users. That means active should be true. That's simple. You can also change it like dynamic advanced, which I will talk about it later. Then we have default value. It's up to you. Now I can just save this. When I'm saving this, now user has that opportunity to select the data which you have selected for the variable. So if I will go to my form, reload it, you will see that it's saying please select the manager. If I click here, I can see all the users here, but it is also filtering the data. That means we have put in a filter where active was true. You can also another filter as per the requirement you have. So then we have other variables, as I mentioned, like select box, single line text. We already talked about UI page, and then URL, like IP address, email address. If somebody wants to put URL, in that case, you can also select that variable as well. And then we have like similarly like single line text. We also have wide line text. It's quite similar, so I don't have to show you. And then the last one is just yes and no. That means if you want users to show choices just as yes and no, in that case, you can just select that variable. Now, I hope you got an idea by creating all those variables that when exactly you will select it. But I will just tell you one thing, that I am going to create a lot of catalog items with real-time examples. That means we will create some examples. We will think of some situations for different kind of forms, maybe leave request, maybe some finance request, different kind of request forms, so that you will be able to visualize then when exactly you need to create these kind of different variables in what situation to fulfill the requirement of your customers. So thanks for watching my video. Have a great day.